Turning Traditions on Their Head by Tim Roll Pickering, published on the 15th of the 8th, 2003. World War II is a popular setting for stories in many different media, so it was perhaps inevitable that Doctor Who would eventually tell a tale set there, especially when the 50th anniversary of the war arrived. But The Curse of Fenric is a far cry from the traditional images of the war, showing the British-Russian alliance as being one of mutual distrust of each side, busy sharpening their knives for backstabbing, whilst the efforts of the British in preparing chemical weapons and using them for bombing are explored. Many traditional notions are challenged, whether the notion that all priests believe the religion they preach, or that vampires can be held back merely through wielding a crucifix. This all combines to make The Curse of Fenric truly terrifying, since traditional notions of security are brutally smashed. Fundamentally, this story is a very early Cold War style story, with the additional twist that the Russians are portrayed as being more sympathetic than the British, and this is historically accurate. Even in 1943, there were undercurrents and divisions amongst the big three of the USA, the USSR and the UK, or perhaps the big two and a half, just as strong is the whole notion of Fenric manipulating successive generations of the original Vikings' descendants in order to engineer his return. This story contains the additional twist when it is revealed how Fenric has manipulated even Ace, and how the Doctor has known this all along. More so than virtually any other attempt in the McCoy years to put the Who back into Doctor Who, it is this which truly makes the Doctor seem like an alien observing from afar. The scene where Ace confronts him about his pre-knowledge and secretive nature is exceptionally strong, whilst his later comments that destroy her faith in him seem cruel, even though they are clearly necessary to allow the ancient Haimavor to become strong enough to turn on Fenric. This is truly a grim story, aided no end by the location work that gives it an even grittier feeling than most stories. Ian Briggs' script contains strong moments, especially the ones where characters are reading aloud the translation of the Viking inscriptions, and we see shots of movement around the wreck of the Viking ship. Few characters are sympathetic in this tale. Only the Reverend Wainwright truly evokes the viewer's sympathy as he struggles with the evaporation of his faith. Both the British and Russians are cold-blooded when they need to be, making them not much different from the Haimavors. Nicholas Mallett's direction throughout the story is strong, with carefully constructed shots that slowly reveal the Haimavors throughout Part 2, and thus makes them seem even more frightening, while the battle sequences in Part 4 that are grim even though no actual blood is seen. Mark Ayer's score is strong and enhances the atmosphere no end, as do many shots which emphasize the bleak nature of things. The cast is strong, with Dinsdale Landon providing a superb contrast between the embittered, crippled academic Judson and the callous Fenric, whilst Nicholas Parsons gives a superb performance as the Reverend Wainwright. Alfred Lynch is less effective as Commander Millington, despite the Hitler-style haircut and almost accurate moustache. The real tour de force of the story has to be the Haimavors. They are superbly designed to look as though they truly are long-dead mutated humans, with the ancient Haimavor being especially memorable and also coming across as a genuinely sympathetic character, not what one would expect in a traditional vampire story. It is typical of The Curse of Fenric that it challenges the presumptions of the viewer, and thus produces a story which surprises and delights at every turn.